We're starting today, though. We kind of went down this road yesterday, and then we took a side tangent, which happens all the time on the show.
That's true.
We do this every week for the Browns' opponent. We look at their offense versus their opponent's defense, and their defense versus their opponent's offense, and that's what we're focusing on today. The Browns' defense versus the Ravens' offense, and the numbers are terrifying. The Ravens, it doesn't seem like they've been as efficient this year on offense. They haven't. They're still ranked 9th in yards per game, 5th in points per game. So this is an explosive offense. The Browns' defense, not good. 23 out of 32 in yards per game, 30th in the league in points per game.
Ooh.
How the hell do they stop Lamar?
It's an interesting offense to deal with because they really have nobody at wide receiver.
They don't.
Their best wide receiver is Rashad Bateman. He's been hurt.
Well, they have a tight end.
That's what I was going to say. Their best wide receiver by far, not even close, is their tight end, who, along with Travis Kelce, is one of the 2 best tight ends in the league. He is an elite player, all-pro caliber player. He's great. So, like, in a way, I wonder, do you almost should you treat Mark Andrews as a wide receiver? Like, should you put a corner on him? But can you even do that?
Well, that's such a
so
mismatch. Yes, such a mismatch.
But can a linebacker can't stay with Mark Andrews?
Not ours.
Like, what do you do? How do you? You played. How do you defend Mark
What about
Andrews?
Emerson on him?
You see, Jay, let me find out you watching all 22. Let me find out Jay got the all 22 tape. He gonna steal that ready to go.
I look, man.
That Emerson. I was just about to say that. I like Emerson, and I would put he's physical. He plays to the boundary.
He's bigger.
He's bigger.
Yeah.
And you know what you can do with that? Now, if any time that he splits out wide, now he might not be able to do anything if he's lined up as a blocking guy, right?
Right.
And that might be an adjustment they go to if they got a corner on him. But if you can put Emerson on him, now he's not going to be getting free releases. He's not going to be able to move and shake on these option routes or whatever that he's going to be running with Lamar Jackson. So for me, Emerson is definitely a guy you could put on him, and it's a wrinkle they would never even think about.
Yeah. Exactly, and you need to try something different, guys, because
I don't think you do it for the whole game.
No, but
you shake it up with him.
Lamar looks for him third down every time.
Yeah.
He looks from red zone. And
he's
his guy.
Well, he's 100%. The safety blanket.
Yeah.
He's
every
the guy
big
he's
spot.
going to go to.
Well, and Andrews is their guy. But I would tell you what, I probably would myself, I would not put Emerson on. I'd leave Emerson out on the outside and let him do his thing, right?
Why? Because too big of a size mismatch?
It's the size differential, right?
Right.
Andrews is no joke, right? But I tell you what I would do. Since I got Jones now, right? JOK, you get out there. You on Andrews. You roll with him. You spy him, right?
Because it's a better matchup size-wise. I just don't know athletically.
You can't do the other things I need, right? So I'm going to need you to be over.
Yeah, but here's the problem with that.
I'm going to put him in space where he's free. He ain't got to shed nobody. It's just one-on-one.
The only difference is I want JOK to spy
Lamar
Jackson.
That's what I need him to do.
I do too.
He'll have no responsibilities but to follow him all week. And that's why you might have to go to a 3-man line. Now, you got to get them to a 3-man line where you got, if Clowney and Garrett is playing in a nose tackle, it is not even really a nose. I would play 3 defensive ends in that nickel or dime look, but it would be a dime with 3 down linemen so I could have JOK standing
Do you
up.
see them? That would be a radical departure.
I mean, you have to for Joe Woods.
That's like asking Joe Woods to come out with pink hair.
I
don't think he's doing that, bro.
As a D lineman.
That's the AOC defense.
As a defensive end, G.
That's nice. That's a nice cutaway.
Hey, cut that up.
That's a very nice cutaway.
JOK with AOC.
That AOC defense, boy.
As a defensive end playing against Lamar Jackson, like we always talk about, the defensive end's got to keep containment, right?
Right.
Against Lamar Jackson, you cannot over pursue.
No.
Because then that's when you're dead.
I think isn't that where it starts? I know we started with Andrews, but I think when you're facing Baltimore, it has to start with Lamar Jackson. You have to have a plan.
He's the threat.
If he gets out of the pocket,
the game is over. If he's allowed free reign, you're going to lose.
I tell you what, I'm looking for this. We better have some new wrinkle on Sunday, right? Don't show me what you showed me here.
It's going to get ugly.
Because it's going to get you killed, right?
Right.
So, I mean, Myles Garrett, move him around. Do something different.
Yeah.
Do something different on Sunday, right?
Who was it yesterday that proposed putting him in the middle? I love that.
Oof.
Was that Leroy? I think it was
Might
Leroy.
have been. I don't know.
It was Leroy 2 days ago.
Leroy,
We've talked about that before, and
but
they've
you know
never
what? I
done
love that
it.
idea.
It's
as
a great
wrinkle.
idea.
They're going to look up and they're going to see 95 in the middle, and they're going to look around like, who's got him?
Yeah.
How are we going to handle him?
Right.
I like that. You know why? Because to me, well, I kind of said this before. You look at Myles Garrett's body type. In about 3-4 years, he'll probably put another 4 pounds, 4 or 5 pounds, 10 pounds. Myles Garrett is already 285 right now. Now he puts on 10 pounds, it's 295. Myles Garrett's evolutionary step is I can play 3 technique. If Myles Garrett can transition to an elite 3 technique, now there's nothing you can do.
That changes everything.
There's nothing you can do because now he's in the middle of the defense. Now he's disruptive, and he's a guard that does not have the feet to deal with what he's going to be able to do.
That's still the shortest path to the quarterback.
Still is. And,
And it always will be.
He can push the pocket, and I call it the standing 3 technique. I stand him up every play.
All right.
Because I'm going to just let him know, like, he's going to be here, but he could be over here, he could be over here, he could move wherever he want to. And I think that's where you get to the menacing factor. TJ Watt is menacing because it just seems like he's wrecking my plans. On the run game, it's the penetration in the different moves that you do that mess up blocking. Because if your assignment is I'm supposed to get this guy in my gap, but he moved to another gap, now they got to read on the run.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great step for Myles Garrett to get to that point. But then again, these defenses is the Willy Wonka Green New Deal. The stuff that ain't gonna happen, right? Joe Wills ain't gonna.
We're
do that.
asking for a pony for Christmas.
Right.
Like, we're not getting this.
That was like, what? What is that?
We're getting the standard 4-3. There will be 4 guys coming at the quarterback all day long, even if they're not getting home. You won't see exotic blitzes. You won't see guys coming from the secondary.
Well, then they're going to give up 40 points.
You're going to get killed.
Yeah. If that happens, they're going to get. He's right. They're going to give him 40 points.
I agree with him. If that's what we do.
When you put that T,
K-I-L-T. You're killed.
I guess I'm going to be doing more landscaping this Sunday. I guess I'm going back.
Because your yard's going to be the nicest one on the block.
Hey, Brad, at least this weekend you can do it in shorts.
Right.
It's going to be warm.
Yeah, it's going to be beautiful.
But seriously, I mean, you think about this offense. They have 2 great players, Lamar and Andrews. That's it. I mean, J.K. Dobbins is not really playing at this point.
Well, he's hurt again.
He has obviously a lot of, right, he obviously has a lot of potential, but he's been hurt.
Yeah.
Their starting back last week was Kenyon Drake.
I know.
Who's not much, but he had 100 yards and 9 carries.
I wouldn't expect for Dobbins to play again. I mean, I know he missed practice Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, he's not playing this week.
Is he already out?
I think I read yesterday he's out. I'm not 100% sure about that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
But they're getting one of their other backs back.
I think he's still questionable because
I think Gus Edwards has been out for a while, too.
I have him on my fantasy team, and I always check.
Yeah.
Yesterday, he had the Q next to him.
Right.
I'm not expecting much out of him, so you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can, and I don't know what it is with Lamar, but something's wrong. Something's wrong. And you go all the way back to last year. I don't know if it was, to me, I thought the real apex for him was when Miami shut him down on the primetime game last year with the cover 0.
Right.
Everybody kind of looked around and said, oh, now everybody doesn't have the personnel to play cover 0. But the Dolphins came up with that blueprint. And I think what we're seeing is you're seeing those 8- and 9-man boxes.
Yeah.
You're seeing it. They're taking away the run, forcing him to pass.
Yeah.
And when he had the run available to him, the reason the pass I thought was so effective was because they were worried about catching him.
Yeah.
And now that they have ways to contain him and they've come up with that blueprint, they're not so worried about him killing them with his arm, and he hasn't been able to do that.
The first couple of games this year he did, though. He had a couple of huge games to start the season.
He had one big game.
No, 2. His first 2 games.
The Miami game at halftime, they were up 35-14.
Right, and then they blew it. But he's done nothing in the fourth quarter.
No.
These are the 2 worst fourth quarter teams in football.
I think probably if you look that up statistically, you're probably
right. Like, I don't know for a fact, but I'm just assuming.
Well,
it seems
we know
pretty obvious.
We know the points the Browns have given up.
Right, and the Ravens have blown double-digit leads
bad.
in 4 games, and they did win one of those, but they've blown big leads in all of them. So I don't know. It's
you know why the cover 0 messed them up a little bit? It's because it's baseball season. I'll give you this analogy.
Yeah.
So when you at the plate and somebody giving you a 98, 99, 100-mile-an-hour fastball, right? Okay. And they got a slider, right? And they got a curveball, but it's a big hooking curveball. Like, that puts you in a position where you have to guess now. Like, 'cause you can't catch up to the fastball.
No, yeah.
You gotta look for it. That's why when that's the levels to it. Like now I'm up there guessing. So if I get a good pitch, I guess on it, then I can hit it. But you're not gonna just be up there on reaction trying to hit it. When you're running that cover 0, you got everybody at the line of scrimmage, right? So now, every time they get up there, you don't know who's coming. You don't know who the free guy is. You don't know if they're dropping back and who has who in the secondary. So when he's dropping back, he's guessing.
Yeah.
He's saying, okay, well, I got to guess. And if you guess right, bingo, you're great. Because guess what? You can throw it and it's a slant. And if they miss one tackle, it's
He's
a
gone.
touchdown.
Yeah, there's no one back there to get him.
Right. But if he guesses wrong, there's a free defender that's going to hit him, or he's going to have to throw the ball before somebody's looking every single time. So now he back there guessing. You know how it is. You start seeing them ghosts. You be like, you think you got less time than you really do. And you're like, why don't you just step up in the pocket? No, but he's still seeing all them shadow men up there. That's the good thing about being aggressive. When Joe Woods and other defensive coordinators, they bail him out by saying, let's just contain him and give him a rush that 4. Because now he's comfortable. I don't got to guess. I can see it and react to it.
So keep him guessing, keep him uncomfortable.
Well, what's the chance of that happening on Sunday?
Well, again, because our D coordinator hasn't been that guy.
Well, then what happened? I mean, how long are we going to keep talking about this?
He said he's got to be, at some point he's got to be fired. Like, you have to adjust to the team you're playing. You look at the next 2 weeks, you're talking about, like, think about the next 2 teams you're playing, the Ravens and the Bengals. These are completely different offenses, right?
Completely.
Like with the Ravens, you want to blitz.
Yes.
Lamar doesn't like to be blitzed.
Right.
He gets uncomfortable. Burrow's the complete opposite.
You don't want to blitz
don't want to
Burrow.
blitz Joe Burrow because you're going to get beat.
Yeah.
And his offensive line isn't as good, so if you just rush him with your 3 or 4 guys, if you cover long enough, you can get to him.
Yes.
But if you blitz him, he's going to find the open guy quick, and you're screwed. So you have to. Joe Woods these next 2 weeks almost has to coach completely differently for the 2 games.
You're right, he does. And confirmed, the Ravens and the Browns are 31st and 32nd in points allowed in the fourth quarter. Who's worse? I would guess that the Browns are worse.
In the fourth quarter, the Browns have given up the most points.
Yeah.
They're giving up 11.2 points per game in the fourth quarter.
Oh, God.
Baltimore is second, allowing 10.7 points
Those
per
are both
quarter.
horrible.
And